Scarborough Downs, Route 1 Scarborough, or Exit 6 Main Turnpike.
I'm Frank Gaziano of National Distributors. If you're concerned about children and the use of alcohol, call this toll-free number for free booklets entitled Family Talk About Drinking. This program, developed by Anheuser-Busch, includes parent guides on talking effectively with your children about a serious issue facing our industry and society, underage drinking. We believe that parents are the key to solving the problem of underage drinking. Thank you.
If you think the PGA Tour pros are heavy hitters, hey, check these guys out.
The Mets meet the Dodgers live as part of ESPN's Tuesday night doubleheader.
If it happens in baseball, you'll see it on ESPN.
When you get down there.
Baptism by white water seemed the rule in river running. Kirk Baker gave me some advice before my first trip in a paddle boat.
Push your back out of the way. It's only water.
Regan said, you know, just similar to skiing. Don't get back on your skis, go into the action.
Or if you've ever gone to the surf in the ocean, you know, you kind of duck and go through it like that. It's the same thing. Duck and go through it so it doesn't throw you back. All right, okay. It'll be great.
Glenn's going to be our lead paddler up there in the front left. When he starts to paddle, Woody's going to paddle.
Mike Boyle was our boat captain for my run on Granite.
He's going to start to paddle also, and then everybody paddles in sync with the person in front of him. Okay, let's try a forward paddle. Easy forward.
I don't mind telling you, I was a little scared.
We'll be doing this.
I felt a mixture of adrenaline, fear, and exhilaration.
We get comfortable paddling in sync together.
I feel like going all out. I tell you.
Okay, it's on your lead, Glenn. Hard forward. Here we go. Hard forward. Hard forward. Get your back. Good full stroke. Hard forward. Really hard. Paddle like there's no tomorrow. Paddle like you're going to die. Hard forward.
Understood. A lot more to go.
That's fun though, because you're hitting everything face on, and you're moving around on the boat. You got to keep it prepared, but then you got to look at what's coming.
Yeah,
you hear everybody screaming.
Yeah, in a rafting site, if you don't too much, it doesn't matter. The raft keep going.
Yeah. Mike took us up to see a famous relic at mile 109 on the river.
Glenn, how do you like this boat? Whoa.
Prehistoric squat boat.
Yeah, this is an old cataract boat. This is one of the early versions of how they got down through the Grand Canyon on the Colorado River. Built by Bert Loper. He built this boat for a couple of guys named Russell and Monet, who came down around 1911. And they were actually coming down here to make a film here in Grand Canyon in hopes of selling it and making a few bucks on it.
Where would they row from?
Well, they'd sit in here, and the nose of the boat here, they'd row this downstream, and they'd call what was called poweling it, just poweling downstream, just pulling down through the rapids. And they probably portaged a lot of the rapids also. They'd take everything out of the boat, carry it all around, and then pick up the boat, drag it around the rocks, or possibly even line the boat through with ropes. Just bounce it down right next to the shore so they get it down to the bottom and not have to run out into the meat of the main rapids.
Though some aspects of the canyon seemed relatively unchanged since the early years of this century, the boating is radically different. Composite materials and hard rubbers are used for raft construction. Kayaks have progressed from animal skin frames to sophisticated fiberglass and polyethylene shells that can take a beating. Squirt boating is one of the newest uses for a low-volume kayak and a growing sport in its own right. Woody demonstrated a mystery move. The mystery is what he does while submerged in the superhighway currents of the Colorado River, only to reappear without his paddle, ready for the next display of hydroacrobatics. Richard showed how the kayak, which rides higher in the water than Woody's squirt boat, can be maneuvered above the surface. His tail stand and pirouette are state-of-the-art moves.
Canon wants me to convince you that the PC-1 is a heck of a personal copier. Pretty tough, huh? Maintenance? Forget about it. All you gotta do is change this little cartridge thingy, and you pretty much got yourself a whole new copier. And isn't this difficult? Warm-up? Nah. Really takes it out of you. And the competition? Ah.
Canon PC-1 and PC-2, nothing but originals.
Is this a great gig or what?
Red Devil enamel. You can always count on its durable finish. Harder than ordinary paint, its beauty lasts and lasts. Red Devil enamel for the finish of a lifetime. I'm a big man.
Why do so many men stick with Bic?
I'm a big man.
Because there's a Bic for every beard. Regular, sensitive, metal.
Yeah, I'm a big man.
I'm a big man.
Grand Canyon is one of the greatest places to study geology. Lots of layers that illustrate different periods of time in the Earth's history.
Regan Dale is regional manager of Oars, our outfitter. After 20 years of guiding trips down the river, he's picked up a lot of geology.
The very top rim layer is the Kaibab limestone. The sloping layer below that is the Toroidite limestone. Then you have the band of white sandstone called the Coconino. Then you have the Hermit Shale, the Redwall limestone, the Temple Butte limestone, the Muav limestone, the Bright Angel Shale. Then we have a band of dolomite in the middle of the Bright Angel. And we're standing in the Tapete Sandstone, which is the last layer in the Paleozoic. That's when the first animals appeared on the Earth. It is just present in a few sections of the canyon.
How many years are represented from the top to the bottom?
The top would be 260 million years old. That's the Kaibab limestone. The bottom is the Vishnu schist, about 1.8 billion years old.
1.8 billion?
Some of the oldest rock exposed anywhere in this country.
How many years has man existed on the planet?
We're in the last 60 million years.
So I guess 60 million years in geological time is not very much. We're pretty recent.
That's right, when you consider how old the rocks are. We're just a grain of sand in time.
Modern man's boundary lines mean that 3 states share the Grand Canyon watershed. 277 miles of river are protected by Grand Canyon National Park. The rock and hard pan of the ancient Colorado Plateau surround the canyon in Arizona. 1,000 years ago, the Anasazi Indians successfully inhabited the canyon as hunter-gatherers, then mysteriously vanished. These petroglyphs are evidence of their early presence.
And just how old are these?
Regan Dale led Richard and Miriam up to a granary where Anasazi stored their food above the flood line.
Well, the early river runners more than likely were the first ones in modern time to see them. Surveyors came down here in the early 1900s and more than likely spotted them.
Yeah. And then came the dam. Glen Canyon Dam was 6 years and 10 million tons of concrete in the making. By 1963, the beauty of Glen Canyon had been drowned forever beneath what is now known as Lake Powell. Heavy spring runoffs have caused occasional flooding, pouring countless thousands of gallons of cold water into the downstream ecosystem. Fluctuating flows have accelerated erosion, washing away the silt that is necessary for embankments and sandbars. Studies are underway to examine the extent of the damage. Dave Rubin is with the U.S. Geological Society.
The sand and mud on the surface of this trench, so we'll be able to photograph it and have the structures show out. The purpose of the trench is so that we can see the internal structure of the sandbar. And in the part where we're working now, there are two main units. There's this underlying set of cross beds that was deposited by a dune migrating out of the main channel up into this bar. And that's overlain by these muds that were deposited by ripples migrating down the channel of the river.
The erosion of sandbars and beaches is crucial to recreational use. The kayakers surfed ahead of us, catching waves and riding them as playfully as dolphins, but their laid-back approach belied a high degree of skill. Only the best in the world could place 3 kayaks on the same small wave. With a few swift power strokes, Woody launched himself onto a wave. Once on a roll, he got the Zen or Ninja Turtle focus on things. I wasn't sure which.
Michelob Light presents 4 on 4. The Michelob Light 4-man volleyball tour. This summer on ESPN.
It takes desire and dedication to break out of the mold of an average body. General Nutrition Centers can help you break the mold with Joe Weider's Victory Mass Kit with 4 nutrient-dense supplements to help max your tough workout. An $85 value, now only $49.99. Joe Weider's Victory, the choice of champions. GNC, the authority in sports nutrition products.
The first explorer to make a descent of the Colorado was Major John Wesley Powell, a one-armed Civil War hero. In his journal of 1869, he wrote, "Every one of these almost innumerable gorges is a world of beauty in itself. In the Grand Canyon, there are 1,000 Yosemites, the most sublime spectacle on earth." We felt like pioneers, too, in our own way, cut off from the outside world and living by the rhythms of the water. As the boaters approached House Rock, I realized that much of what I'd seen looked easy until you actually thought about what was going on. Imagine trying to execute a somersault with a boat around your waist inside an industrial-strength washing machine. The kayakers faced that sort of challenge every single rapid. Here, Richard got hammered by a big wave, an impact akin to a ton of water being dropped from 10 feet above you. This time, using a paddle, Woody stroked into the heart of the run, only to be reminded of the Colorado's power. Nolan faced danger to an even greater degree as his canoe swamped and grew heavy with water. Rolling it up sometimes took more than one attempt. We also discovered that the canyon was a living laboratory and that the jury was still out on the ultimate ecological effects of the Glen Canyon Dam. Richard and Miriam paddled by researchers studying a virtually extinct fish species known as the humpback chub.
A lot now is trout to a large extent and a few of the native species that originally occurred. But basically, we're trying to do studies on the life history of the humpback and how it's surviving here in the canyon.